Mechanical toy.
Hello once again, my people, it is I, Veed, and welcome back to Amorous. I just went on a date with Dustin, and he's lovely, and I love him. I can't believe. Why does this always happen to me? I always get so, jittery and be lovey-dovey with fictional characters. Why can't this happen in real life? I fucking hate my life. So, we're just going to go on another date with him real quick. I told myself it had been long enough since the last date, regardless of how true that really was. Ring, ring. Hey, Andres, sorry, I was a little busy. It didn't take much for me to realize what was keeping him busy when I heard Varus' voice over the phone. How's your toy that... Ooh, that's so out of context. That's probably that your fuck toy, Dustin. Hate him. Even just hearing his voice was enough to set me on edge. Dustin snarled back, and swiftly the call became a little more than muffled shouts and the door being slammed. After a moment, I hear the phone being lifted again in Dustin's voice. Sorry about that. Bar's being worse than usual about all this. At this point, I think I seriously need a vacation. Thinking you might want to come along too. There's this great little intel not too far outside of town. It's more secluded than the main drag and less likely to be choked with tourists. Thought we could spend some time there. Aww. You know, I'm gonna just go ahead and keep on topic. I could use the time away from my house and get the job hunt myself. Relaxing on a beach and soaking up sun sounds pretty good right now. It's a date then. Head over to my place when you get the chance and buzz me when you're there. Everything's good to go. I'll see you then. Sadly, he didn't get much of a goodbye before I hear Var's voice echoing in the background. I swear that bird makes claws on a chalkboard and sound pleasant. Regardless, I need to get my things together and head over. We do not like this fucking parrot. This parrot is a goddamn asshole. A quick side trip later, and I headed out of the suburbs and into the city. True, half of the city was a beach, but if Dustin knew a place that was more secluded, then that would certainly be a treat. Ooh, we get in some beats up in here at a parking garage. The parking lot below Dustin's apartment complex was packed solid with cars. It'd be impossible to figure out which one was his. Fortunately, Dustin strolled over the elevator and waved me down. Hey, Andres, glad you could make it. He walked up to me and gave me a brief hug, a smile beaming on his face. It's good to see you again. I'm really looking forward to relaxing and getting to know you a little better. His smile turned a little predatory as he glanced around the parking lot. But first, I've got a little game I wanted to play. It's called Guess Which One Is Mine. My brow furrowed as he laughed. It's just for fun. Which card do you think is mine? Kind of an odd game, I suppose, but I can humor him. So, just from his character, you would think that he is a little bit more deviant, a little bit more subtle, a little bit... obviously, I know which card is his because it plays a huge part of it. I just can't remember the context, the dialogue that much because I just kind of skipped through. But you know what? Because I thought it would. First time that I ever played this, I pointed to a commuter car, and he was just cheap. Wow, thanks for that. And I'm like, ooh, oh no. So I think we're gonna go to sports car. There was a cherry red sports car in an immaculate condition towards the front of the garage. Something about it suggests Dustin. That one? I wish. You got great taste in cars, though. There's my baby right there. He motioned to a pickup truck in the back of the lot. It was powder blue and looked like it had seen better days. Not quite what I was expecting. Yeah, this bitch drives a pickup truck. I don't know why I do. Probably it was because of the people that I had crushes on or who I dated, but I like a man with a pickup truck. I don't know. Would have never guessed. And that's why we're getting to know each other a little bit, kid. A little better, kid. I can enunciate, but fart. Stay C. Thanks, Game Grumps. That pickup means the world to me. It was my first car and the first real thing I had that I could call my own. That truck led me to be independent for once, helped me make my own way. It's full of memories. He must really like that pickup considering the amount of work he's likely put into it. Still, it wasn't rickety or anything, just well-loved and long-lived. Toss your stuff in the back, kid. We should get going. It's a bit of a drive out to the beach. I nodded and set my bet in the bed of the truck. I noticed he'd already loaded in a couple of folding chairs and a cooler as well as his own things. A black Speedo peeked out of the rucksack he tossed next to the cooler. Hop in, kid. Ooh, he has a nice Speedo. We love a good Speedo in this household. The heavy doors of the truck slammed shut as the engine reluctantly revved to life. After a moment's hesitation, I coughed up the engine. The truck lurched to life as we were on our way. Despite a questionable, roaring start, the truck's ride was remarkably smooth. Dustin and I chatted about the little things, weather and the like, before settling into a more serious tone. I wanted to thank you for giving me a reason to get far out the door quickly. I think I need this getaway badly. I know you... Whoa. Rebooting. I know you dated that guy, but he gets on my nerves. I'm surprised he doesn't drive you crazy more often. Saying it's complicated would be an understatement. Oh, Dustin. Varias was special to you, wasn't he? Was? Like, was. Now? Weird to think about it that way. We've been on and off again, more than a light switch, but somehow I always wound up right back to where I started. You mean with him? More than that. Everything seemed to settle back into the same routine. Work, dates, bills. Even old Betsy here would seem to wind up with the same issues again. Sounds like a rut. I understand people naming their trucks. Bitch, my brother named his car. My sister hasn't even named her car. I'm going to probably when I get my own. It sounds like you were stuck in a rut or something. I've had a little of that lately myself. Never quite felt that simple. You could bust yourself out of that rut. This, though, kind of felt like the world was settling around me and I didn't mind. Bothers me whenever I think about it, though. Still, yeah, Var was important to me. Now? I don't even know. I certainly don't think that I'm that important to him. Oh, baby. I got quiet for a moment. It never really occurred to me that Dustin would be aware of Varias' manipulations, since it seemed he just went along with them. Made me think back to before I went to Amorous. That strange sort of hazy feeling I had at the start. I was in a rut, frustrated with the job hunt and going nowhere, but I still came back. I still turned to Kobe dragging me out of it. Looks like we're in luck! No one else is here and there's plenty of parking right by the beach. Ooh, we love a good clear beach so that we can make out. We pulled to a stop and got out, grabbing our things from the bed of the truck and hiked down the narrow stairs to the sand below. I suppose it didn't matter what we had going on before now. The only thing that was worth thinking about was enjoying the sun, the surf, and the company. Dustin really wasn't kidding about the beach being secluded. Sheer cliffs and sandstone blocked off access to the main road, and the intel looked like it had been carved out from an underground spout. Still, the sun was just in the right position to flood the tiny beach, and the waves were softly lapping at the shore. It was picturesque. It's been a hot minute since I've been to the beach. I'm gonna go back to the beach. By the way, in case you don't know, in case you live in another country, bitch, I see you, Denmark. I see you, England. I'm in landlocked situation in Colorado where we have no beach. We're literally like right in the fucking middle of the country. So, I don't get to go swim in the ocean that often. Dustin started by folding out the chairs and tossing down a blanket over the sand. Settling the cooler in the middle, he set up a small beach umbrella towards the back before smiling over at me. There we go, our own little slice of heaven. Speaking of which, Dustin... We're going back to this. Dustin unceremoniously shucked off his shirt, tossing it over on the back of one of the chairs. After a short stretch, we settled in on the blanket, leaving his chest exposed to the sun. Ah, man, I live for this. Nothing like to feel warm sun on your fur. I wish I was more comfortable taking off my shirt, but I wouldn't say that I'm like a bear, but I definitely have a dad body for 19. Oh god, you're such a, like, nothing like a warm sun on your fur. He's literally like the definition of a fucking house cat. You're such a cat stereotype, curling up in a sunbeam the first chance that you get. No use denying my heritage. I can't purr. It's so good. So how did you find this place? A secluded little cove like this should be a hotspot for everyone looking for a little privacy. Dustin squinted a little into the bright blue sky before rolling onto his side and to face me. It was early on with Var, back when we just wanted to get away from everything. I was his major form of escape at the time. Escape from what? Sounds like he was perfectly happy with where he was when I talked to him. used to be, but wasn't that into money and used to be. He wasn't that into money and getting stuff. I figured it was just his teenage rebellious phase spilling over. One day he shows up at my place in the middle of the night with a beach towel and a cooler of beer. Said his dad tried to set him up with someone from work for a date or something. So he hopped into my truck and just drove. He tossed back a couple of beers and snuggled up with me. When we passed near here, he saw the moonlight off the waves and said we should stop. And, well, obviously we did. Stayed out until 1 AM just listening to the waves and drinking. We both didn't want to risk driving back, so we slept on the beach and drove home after sunrise. Man, his dad was pissed. I mean, this is not the fucking bird I saw. I mean, like, it's probably, like, important to him in other ways, so, I mean, I'll just put, like, that doesn't sound at all like the arrogant parrot I made at your place. People change. I see it enough at work, I should have seen it at home, too. Am I always going to be competing with that memory? Getting kinda heavy for a relaxing beach trip, aren't you, kid? He keeps coming up regardless. To be honest, I think we're both competing with that memory. Man, seeing what Var is now and you coming out at the end of the train wreck that was. But I'll tell you, it's different now. That routine isn't comfortable anymore and I'm ready for a new one. Oh, he likes us. The waves washed away everything else for a moment. I knew my uncertainty was going to linger. Knowing just how far back Var went, I couldn't help but remember his taunts. He'll dump you by the curb. If I can edit that somehow, then, bitch, it's gonna get echoey. For the moment, no matter what either of us went through, he was willing to share this. Laying in the sun near the surf, he wanted to take time to be here with me. That's worth something. You got quiet there for a second, kid. Something on your mind? I'm just thinking. I mean, just thinking about us, this whole situation and where it all might end up. I forgot how complicated dating can be sometimes. Heck, I forgot how complicated people can be. It's not easy, sure, but nothing worth doing is, well, except for one thing. To my surprise, Dustin stood up from his blanket and moved over next to me. His paw ran softly against my shoulder and down the back of my neck as he leaned in close. Aww. This is why I can't play dating simulators. I become a fucking gay-ass nerd. Ugh. Gently, his lips brushed my own as he pulled me towards him for a long, luxurious kiss. I could feel his strength wrapped around me and to tickle his rough tongue against mine. I love kissing. Why does this... I'm a lonely-ass piece of shit. There was a tenderness, a warmth that radiated through the kiss. The sunbathe had left his fur achingly hot, and the rolling warmth of the breath left me slumped into his arms. Jason Apex, I see you. Boy grammar. Then the cool ocean breeze passed over my lips. The shock of separation from him pulling me back from my haze. His pulse... I see you, Jason FX. I see you. His paw stroked my neck softly. Oh, there's a cat. Hi, kitty. His paw stroked my neck softly, his smile beaming down on me. That's something Vareth and I never did. A new memory that I'm enjoying greatly. I felt a chill rise from around me. Maybe it was the ocean, or maybe it was my nerves, but I pushed forward into a thick furred warmth and buried my face in his mane. I take it that was a good memory for you too, then. I mumbled and nodded, surrounded by silken fur that tapped me into waves of warmth. His scent filled my nostrils and left me dizzy. He continued to stroke my head and neck softly, stretching out to catch a few sunbeams more. Dustin snuggled up next to me, watching the waves roll down around the shore and keeping an arm around my shoulders. I can't speak anymore because I'm just so fucking cute. Why can't I... There's gonna be a lot of me complaining about how I don't have a boyfriend. It was a vastly different date and a different Dustin that I had first met. I felt more comfortable with him. Less like I was just like another one-night stand. We stayed out until just before sunset, the chill eventually getting too much for me and Dustin to bear. Oh, there you go. There's your shirt. You should get going. It's only going to get colder at this point. Aw, you put your shirt back on. I don't want to leave. I am. It's cold. It's cold. Like how it's cold right now. God, I'm fucking freezing. I suppose I am getting a little chilly, though I hate to leave such a beautiful spot. I promise this won't be the last time that we come here, and next time maybe I won't have work in the morning. Begrudgingly, I gathered up my things in the cooler as Dustin grabbed a blanket and umbrella. The warmth came back to us as we moved up the trails towards the truck, and I feel a little of that hazy, dreamy feeling from his embrace. Powered through, I tossed my bundle into the back of the truck and hopped back inside. Once the door shut, the truck roared to life immediately. My surprise was echoed on Dustin's face. Guess Bessie likes you too! Oh, and his car likes us! I fucking hate this game. We both chuckled as he pulled smoothly out of the parking lot and back into the main road. The trip back, which was much lighter than the one over, I was still riding off the high of that kiss, and Dustin's paw had found its way to mine, squeezing it firmly. We talked for a while longer since he insisted on dropping me by my house instead of making me walk home. I want to see where you live anyway, just in case I want to drop by and say hi. Aw. As we pulled up to the house, Dustin parked, and the two of us walked to the front door. Nice place your parents has. Cozy, but spacious. Not quite spacious enough that I get my own room, but my brother and I get along well enough. Well, I suppose that this is where I should say goodnight. Don't want your dad to come home and kick my ass for bringing you home after curfew. I'm an adult, Dustin, don't be a dick. I mean, me. Literally me. He grinned at me and leaned into the kiss to kiss me on the cheek. Give me a call soon, kid. I don't like to be kept waiting for long. As I waved goodbye, I could feel his eyes on me. Turning around, I drew a deep sigh when I saw who it was. God damn it, it's our fucking whore-ass brother. So, who is that? Suddenly, I felt like it was gonna be a long night. Ooh, someone likes you! Ah, someone likes this! Alright, so, I'm going to go ahead and stop that video there. You know what? It's actually a lot shorter than I thought it was going to be. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Veed, and I really hope that you're enjoying the series, and I hope that you enjoy— Wow, I just noticed that I am going to need to censor that in all of my other videos that I have not published yet. Cool. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.